Welcome to the Rocky and Meisty Show presented by Jew Stool. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Let's get right into it. Super Bowl 56 belongs to the Los Angeles Rams, everyone. LA is back on top. In the last 16 months or so, 3 professional sports teams in LA have won a championship. Lakers, Dodgers, Rams. That's got to be some sort of record, no? Is it not?
No,
It's gotta be some sort of record.
Yeah, the Tampa,
Boston did it.
the Bucks and the Lightning went back to back, so that could be something else.
And you always have Boston,
And
the
Boston.
Celtics, New England, Patriots, and
the Lakers and Dodgers did it within like 2 weeks of each other in 2020.
Yeah.
So I mean that,
and
and then you have another.
That didn't count. That That bubble Mickey Mouse.
It counts. It counts just like every other one. I don't know. Anyway, I got the Rocky and Meisty here, rocking over here. And I got the Barstool over here. This is a jam-packed sweatshirt over here. So we're rocking. It's Super Bowl 56. A great game came down to the wire. And what did Meisty and I say prior to the playoffs? If Stafford wants to do something for his legacy, the Rams have to go all in. They went all in, and Stafford had to win a Super Bowl in order for this to be justified. And here's a clip of us saying that. They made the playoffs with Jared Goff already. They made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff already. They didn't need Matthew Stafford to make the playoffs. They had that taken care of already. They got Matthew Stafford so that they can win these big games in the playoffs against your division opponent. Rubber match, third game. This is when Stafford needs to show up. And I think, tell me if you agree with me, I think this is enormous for Stafford's legacy if he wants to have any go down in NFL lore as a great quarterback. He's going to have to win a few playoff games over here. You agree with me there?
I mean, it's not just one playoff game. He's got to win more than one playoff game. But this is this is his Super Bowl, if you want to call it, for his playoff. This will be a big one against the division rival. Like you said. But if he loses this game, I mean, the Rams have no reason for him. They might as well trade back for Jared Goff.
Exactly. That's why they got him. This is why they got him.
Right. This is exactly why.
So that's exactly what Stafford did. Stafford justified the Rams' moves. And you got to remember, it wasn't just Matthew Stafford. There was Von Miller. There was OBJ. There were several other moves that took place throughout the season for this to happen. And Stafford was the backbone. The entire playoffs, he played great. Obviously, came down to earth a little in the Super Bowl when OBJ got out of the game. But the moves played dividends. And I want to give the Rams a lot of credit for identifying a year in which they could go all out, right? It's not always you think that this is the year we're going to go all out because our team's pretty good. We just add a few more pieces. We can be a fantastic team. Yeah, but you know what? If you got, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and all of these guys compete against, then, your chances still aren't very high. But you're going up against a weak NFC team. You only really have a couple elite quarterbacks in there, and they're all older. This was a year that the Rams identified, listen, if we go all in this year, this is a year we have a good chance to win it all. And that's exactly what happened. Great job to that front office for identifying that. Give them a lot of credit. Could be rough sledding for them for a bunch of years to come. Maybe not next year. Maybe they can get some of them back together next year. But there will be a point in time over the next few years where the Rams have some tough sledding. What do you guys think? What do you think, Meisty? You said Matthew Stafford's legacy. They have to win a Super Bowl, and that's what he did, Meisty. How's the feeling over here? I know you're not happy the Bengals lost.
I'm not happy the Bengals lost, but I didn't lose any money on it, so I'll be happy with that. The Rams, I mean, this is what we talked about. This is what everyone said. This is boom or bust. That Super Bowl or bust. Matthew Stafford's career, legacy was on the line. A lot of the players on the Rams, guys who were there from when they lost the Super Bowl a couple years back. Revenge got that for them. The other thing with the Rams, though, that they picked at some point when they decided to go all in this year. I mean, they picked a very good year because it was injured riddled, and all up and down the NFL. There was injuries. I mean, more on the AFC, I guess, but the NFC was just as much. And like you said, I mean, it was weak. The NFC was weak this year. So what a year to pick out. Hey, go for it. Pick on the NFC. Get what get all the value and go get yourself a Super Bowl. And all the credit to them, all the credit to their coaching, and they came. And I mean, they if not for that O-line of Cincinnati, I mean, there's it's a much better, different game, I think. But Cincinnati played a good game. They definitely, gave themselves chances, and they blew it at the end with all those penalties and stupidity. But all credit to the Rams. I mean, I didn't enjoy the games as much as some might have. Thought it was a slow start, a lot of punts, not a lot of drives, not anything. The Bengals didn't convert on the interceptions. So and when that's not like, if they convert there and it's like all right, they converted, but they didn't do anything. They kicked the field goal and I was like, oh, that's stupid. All right, like let's score some touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Like you have the whole world watching, and here you are kicking the ball. But hey, it was a Super Bowl and it was exciting at the end. And the OBJ scored the first touchdown, got injured. That's a storyline, and they were able to still overcome that and win. I don't have much to say otherwise than that, but hey, congratulations to LA on the stupidest freaking football city in all of the land. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the fans of LA necessarily deserve, or the whatever limited amount that they have, like the Cincinnati fans probably deserved it more, but I would say the Rams team definitely deserved it more. They were a better team, and obviously, anytime you make a trip to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, you have to get a little lucky. I would say the Rams probably got a little lucky that the Packers lost in the divisional round, because I don't know if they would have beat the Packers in Lambeau after even though they did beat the Bucs in Tampa. But either way, they made the most of their opportunities, and even with all the injuries, we saw Robert Woods go down, made some smart additions, adding OBJ, and we saw how much he was impacting the game when he was on the field and then off the field also, when after he got injured, most likely tore his second ACL, which really sucks for his future going forward. But
you gotta hate
how they were struggling. Yeah, how they were struggling to move the ball. And honestly, the biggest thing for me was I was so impressed with the Bengals defense. They were mediocre all season, as I was saying, and they just came out flying. And the Rams ran for 1.9 yards per carry. So I was extremely impressed with the Bengals defense. Besides for Eli Apple, who is rightfully getting absolutely flamed on Twitter. And
he didn't even have that bad of a game. He just gave up the actual touchdown.
Yes,
like
that is a bad game. That is giving up two touchdowns is a bad game.
I understand, but he gave up the big touchdowns, but he didn't he didn't give up any big plays. Yeah, he gave up to Cooper Kupp and OBJ.
A touchdown is a big play. The point of the game is scoring touchdowns. That's terrible.
Right. I'm talking about a big play, like a large.
I know. Like we thought Jalen Ramsey was doing his best Eli Apple impression. I think that might have been the worst game of Jalen Ramsey.
Did you guys see that picture of the last?
Well, to be fair,
fourth down?
Yes.
Rocky, hold on real quick. Did you see that picture, Rocky, on the last play of the game? Jamar Chase had dropped. Jalen Ramsey had fallen down on the fourth down, and Jamar Chase was deep, wide open, but Joe Burrow didn't have enough time to sling it.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, right. Donald sort of disrupted that play before it started. I want to ask you guys this one question, and I'm going to go first and give you guys time to think about it. The defining moment of this game, the turning point, if you will. And I'm going to say that it was, despite the fact the Rams won, it was OBJ going down, because you really saw that second weapon that the Rams had. It was necessary in a lot of ways. They did a great job after that point of taking Cooper Kupp out of the game. They tried to throw those fades to Van Jefferson one-on-one. It did not work. Van Jefferson cannot win those one-on-one battles nearly as well as OBJ. He's not as talented of a route runner. He's just not as good. Van Jefferson's a good receiver. He's not really as good as OBJ. When he went down, they were very limited. After that, they scored 3 points other than the last drive. I mean, they were very limited. And you mentioned, Yehuda, that the defense stepped in a big way. They did. And they did a great job of taking Cooper Kupp out of the game. I think it was a matter of just being outmatched, out-talented, which we all said, right? We said, it's going to be hard. The Bengals schematically can do a good job, but they don't have enough talent to match up with this Rams offense. And that's exactly what happened. Last drive, it just got overpowered. And even without OBJ on the field, Stafford came through with some big throws. What do you think, Yehuda? What was your game-defining moment? Turning point.
My game-defining moment, which people aren't really talking about, was either that third down drop by, I think it was either Mike Thomas or Tyler Boyd. The drive before the Rams score their game-winning touchdown, the Bengals had a chance on third down, like 3rd and 7. I don't know if he would have gotten the first down, but they throw a pass over the middle that would have gotten them at least 6 or 7 yards on like 3rd and 8. that potentially could have gotten them the first down or got them within a yard of first down, help them burn some more clock and make the Rams use timeouts. But instead, he drops that pass, and the Rams have to punt it away. So either that play or Cooper Kupp first down on 4th and 1 when he's rushing. Like there's so many turning points. So you could say also the holding, but I don't think necessarily because I think
that's why I said think about it because it's for one moment. Yeah. It's very difficult. There were a lot of shifting momentum in this game.
Yeah, but
you had to highlight one.
What I thought I did hear this the other earlier today. It was an amazing play call because the Bengals defense was playing out of its mind run defense. That's what I expected the Rams defense to do because they were a top 4 or 5 run defense coming into the league. We detailed how good they are at their run stop win rate, and they were not able to stop Joe Mixon as well as they normally could. And instead, it seemed like the Rams run defense was playing for the Bengals. Bengals were playing amazing, stopping Cam Akers and Henderson and Michelle when he touched the ball once or twice. So Sean McVay knew, he's like, we need a yard on 4th and 1, but we haven't been able to get a yard. So we need to throw something in to keep them interesting. And he put the ball in the hands of his best player, Cooper Kupp, and got them 7 yards on the first down, which was huge. Amazing play call, amazing coaching, and a great play by their best player to keep him alive. And then we saw what Stafford did with the no-look pass and everything. So I think that first down, because remember, that was at their own 30. So if they don't get that, the Bengals are already in field goal range, up 3 or up 4. They're up 4. That's true. If they get a field goal, even if the Rams stop them, they get a field goal, then if the Rams have to go down the field to get a touchdown, it would only be a tying touchdown because of missed extra points. So to get that first down with Cooper Kupp on the reverse, that play call was amazing. Huge turning point to push them forward in that game-winning drive.
I thought the touchdown throw by Joe Mixon was going to open up a whole new ball game. I thought we were going to see some. I'm going to say it like this. I don't think there was a turning point in the game to an extent. I mean, we had a lead change, late lead changes, but I don't believe that there was a real turning point. There were so many opportunities for turning points. Once again, throughout the game, there's right the two interceptions. Right? Those could have been turning points. There's almost a pick right before the half, like James Harrison. We almost had one of those. That could have been a turning point. If that face mask gets called, that's a huge turning point in the game. So,
sure.
So I believe that there wasn't a turning point to say in this game. That it was a good coaching game, very well played game by the players. 97% of the game was played good football. I mean, we didn't have many penalties or any penalties till later in the game. It took some time for penalties and then pushing and shoving and all that started. But we had good Super Bowl football, no turning points, no defining moment, sort of say. I guess you can say the 4th down sack or the touchdown by Cooper Kupp. But once again, I think the Bengals played a better game.
Yes.
On both sides of the ball. I think that Joe Burrow played a much better game. The only difference was you can't get sacked
the first wipers over
in a Super Bowl. And you can't expect to win a Super Bowl getting sacked 9 times. You can't expect to
7 times.
7 times. You can't. I thought it was 8, but 8 or 9. But okay, 7 times. Even 7 times, you can't get. And you need time to throw the ball. And the Rams are just a full-on team, so you have to go toe-to-toe. The Bengals had all the opportunities in the world. I mean, how many times are the Rams really going to punt throughout the season? How many times? I feel like they just kept punting. And I'm like, all right, Bengals, score a touchdown here, and you can put the game away, and it just never happened. So, I think that I just look forward to next year's Super Bowl.
Can someone explain to me on the last sequence of the game? I was losing my mind. It's 4th and short. And it's 4th and 1. You need a yard and a half. Forget about not running it. You need a yard and a half. You are lining up in the shotgun, which puts yourself 5 yards back before you even get to the line of scrimmage. What are you doing? I don't understand. I never understood the logic. in short yardage situations, especially if you were going to run it. If you're going to pass it and he's injured, Joe Burrow's injured, I sort of hear it, but you're going to run it either way, which they did on 3rd and 1. They got 1 yard. Had that happened, had he lined up under center, then they would have gotten probably 2 yards. I mean, who knows how the play would have played out. But, I mean, it's a lot more likely than starting. Literally, if you watch a play where a quarterback lines up in the shotgun, he is 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So you are handing the ball off. You need to get 5 yards before you even gain 1 yard. On 2 straight plays, you need 1.5 yards, and you're almost in field goal range. What were they doing? I lost my mind. Can someone explain to me what the logic behind that was, please?
No explanation. Okay, I completely agree with you. Can you explain this?
Yeah, that's why Zach Taylor is a losing head coach all time. He's like 20 games below 500. I think the Bengals went on one of the luckiest postseason runs in history, and this was their one chance to make it happen, and their coaching let them down. Their defensive coordinator was making amazing adjustments during the games, and they're winning the turnover battle. But when it comes down to it, their coaching is not that good. And I don't know if they're winning in spite of him necessarily. I don't know if he's that bad, but their coaching in general isn't that good, and their O-line isn't that good. It's a weak spot of their offense. And I said what they should. Their MO is the big plays, and the YOLO balls when they just chuck it deep. And then they got a 9-yard pass, and then they just chuck it deep on 2nd and 1 to Jamar Chase, burrow through deep, instead of trying to pick up a first down, which, that's just how they've been playing. That's how they've been playing all year. And then 3rd and 1, Aaron Donald makes an incredible play, and then you probably have to sneak or just try to win a battle up front and just get a yard, get something, instead of staying back in the shotgun. I said their identity, they should have ran play action. So I would say probably under center. You run play action and throw a YOLO ball. Do you make the Rams think that you're running up the middle? Because that's what you would expect, the 1 yard play, and then have someone do a double move, hope for a pass interference or a deep ball. But running shotgun.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the threat of a QB sneak has to be there in a short yardage situation. It's a good point you're making.
It's bad coaching. It's just bad coaching. It's bad play call.
Bad play call, like 100%. How do you?
The reason why
Tom Brady was not good.
And Zach Taylor was.
It's true.
Yeah, Tom Brady, sneak master. If that was Stafford lining up for the sneak, we know he would not have got it. He is not.
Right.
He would have fell backwards. He would have lost yards.
Yeah.
Stafford's only got to sneak and lose yards.
That Joe Burrow, when he was sacked by Von Miller and he was, wincing in pain, screaming out in pain with his right knee, I was like, oh my God, they're going to tear both of his ACLs. I was like, this O-line is going to cost this man his career in 2 years. That's insane. And I don't know if he would have come out in any other game if it wasn't the Super Bowl. Obviously, Super Bowl is different. You play through it, the adrenaline, but they need some serious O-line help fast. And people talking about how Bengals will be back, Joe Burrow, everything. I was bringing it up for weeks already. Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl in his 2nd year. He had the greatest season of a quarterback of all time up to that point, 49 or 48 touchdown passes. And they were like, oh, Marino's going to be back. Dolphins going to be back. And he never went to another Super Bowl. So it's extremely hard to go to a Super Bowl. And you catch some breaks, you play well, but it is so incredibly hard to go to a Super Bowl. So to me right now, it feels like with the construction of this team, it feels like that was the closest the Bengals are ever going to get. And they need to spend some serious draft capital to improve their secondary a little bit and their O-line incredibly.
Okay, I expect to see the Bengals in the playoffs over the next years every year. I don't know how far they'll get, but once again, all you need is a playoff run. All you need is a Joe Flacco type of guy who just comes alive in the playoffs. But and then you talk about their offensive line. Well, first of all, it doesn't just start with the draft, right? I think that if there's a free agent out there who's looking for a team to go to, this is the team to go to. Like literally, if I'm an offensive lineman and I'm looking for a team, they have the money to pay, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money there. They're contenders. Technically they're contenders. And then if you look at the division, first of all, as a Ravens fan, I'm not excited to see Jamar Chase twice a year. I am excited to see Joe Burrow twice a year.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the same way as I never wanted to see Antonio Brown, but I always like seeing Ben Roethlisberger. Same type of thing. But even in the division, the Steelers are kind of falling apart, and the Browns seem to never can't catch a break. So they should be in the 1-2 spot for the next couple of years, as long as the Ravens, whatever happens with the Ravens. But the Bengals do need a lot of help, and their defense needs help too. By the way, don't just think their defense is just it's all that good. Their defense needs help. There's a lot of holes.
Do not think
there's. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the AFC North is going to be a very good division. I actually think it's going to be the best division of football because the Bengals are up and coming. They have, they made the Super Bowl. They made the Super Bowl with a lot of holes on that roster, and I think they can really build the offensive line through the draft. Like we said, just have an average offensive line. That's all you need. Get a couple, pieces on the defense. We'll discuss this more at length in the offseason. Offseason needs. What teams can do to fill voids. But and the Ravens and Browns will be back. They have great rosters, two of the best rosters in football that people forgot about because they had a lot of injuries this year. And the Steelers got the best coach in football, arguably, except for probably Bill Belichick. So you have to put that into account as well, what they did with that. I think the AFC North is going to be here for a while. Before we move on from the Super Bowl itself.
Wait, hold on, Rocky. Before you go, Rocky, I just want to say the NFC West is the best division in football. Continue.
You can argue. I mean, I think it's a good discussion. It's a good discussion. But I want to just talk about one thing, and because everyone's talking about it, and I'm not into talking about the refs so much, but seemed to be they were pretty consistent throughout the course of the game that they weren't going to call the ticky-tacky plays. They were going to let them play. And then at the end of the game, all of a sudden, probably the holding Cooper Kupp in the end zone was probably he held his jersey. But the one before where it was 3rd and 9. And very controversial call, and people were going, well, you let him play the entire game, and all of a sudden you're calling that little foul. What do you guys think about that one?
So, I mean, it was not consistent necessarily, but I think it was probably a hold because there's no way that any linebacker can play with Cooper Kupp unless he makes a great play. And some people could say that was a great play, but I think he grabs him a little with the hand, wraps him a little to knock the ball away, and if you're calling with consistently what you were calling for the game, it's probably not a foul. But they decided to call it then because I think it probably is a little ticky-tacky, and it probably is a hold in regular season games. But based on what they were calling, probably should not have been a call, but probably was a foul, if you know what I'm saying.
Let me ask you this. If he doesn't hold him, hook him, pull him, does Cooper Kupp catch the ball?
Of course. Yeah.
I have to watch the play. Does he? Is it that simple?
Right. It has. No, I'm talking about 100%. You're sick. You're telling me if he doesn't hook him, the defender has no chance. Cooper Kupp 100% is making that catch.
I would say yes. I don't see.
That's how I look at it.
Right. Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Okay, but that's how I look at it, right? In my opinion, like if I don't like the calls when the quarterback kind of overthrows him and he still holds him, and you're like, but it wasn't even close. Like he didn't have a play on the ball. Like I understand he held him and that's holding, but like the ball needs to be able to be playable. So in that case, maybe Matthew Stafford overthrew him, or it still wasn't such a good pass. These things can happen just as good. But so the way I would say is, if we can sit here and say that Cooper Kupp guaranteed, I mean the ball's going to hit him, in the hands. So that means a catch usually for those types of guys. But so that's right. If not, if he might have not have caught it, don't call it, especially late in the game, Super Bowl on the line, ticky-tacky like that. If it was 50-50, if Cooper Kupp would have caught it, I would say you don't call it. I mean, if we're calling ticky-tacky, the Ravens don't have a Super Bowl in 2012.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, right? I was going to bring that up. But also, there's a difference between a bad call and a bad call that actually affected the play. So there were two of those, obviously the Cooper Kupp one, and obviously the one with T. Higgins down the field where he just shoved Ramsey in the face mask. And that
no. By the way, watch that play again. No, Rock, go back and watch that play again because
I watched it numerous times actually.
He falls down. The defender is falling down before the face mask, becomes a part of the play.
Right, but I don't think that negates the face mask, does it?
No, it does not. But to sit here and say, if he didn't face mask him, he doesn't get the touchdown, it's not true. That touchdown was going to happen. I think.
But a face mask is not one of those.
He almost fell into the face mask. You know what I'm saying? He was running. He's running. The guy kind of falls. It wasn't like he went out to zip on him or pull. He onto his hand, and he's just running. I think that which once again, bad call, missed call, bad no call, I'd say, but it wasn't like it affected the play. Put it like that.
Well, it did. If Ramsey was there, he wouldn't have caught. He wouldn't have ran away from him.
Ramsey was falling
easily
down either way.
Touchdown.
No, but Ramsey was falling down either way. The face mask did not affect Ramsey's ability to make a play. Now Ramsey was on the floor. Ramsey had fallen down. For some reason, Ramsey was falling a lot this game. Ramsey fell down, right? Then the face mask on his way down. There's a face mask. That affected nothing. If anything, and maybe it helped T. Higgins or whoever it was catch the ball.
Right.
Maybe because he helped him balance. I don't know, but
I think T. Higgins adjusted to the ball, and like Micey was saying, Ramsey got out leverage and starts falling, and they're almost never going to call offensive face mask unless it's like on a stiff arm where a guy grabs the defender's face mask and twists and pull. So like that, they were saying like they didn't see a grab and twist. It's more just coming across with like a rake, as they called it, coming across. They're not going to call. Yeah. So just an offensive player with face mask is just a lot less likely to happen. And like Micey says, he's falling already, and Higgins is adjusting. They're jockeying, they're hand fighting, and he stops to come back to the ball. And it just that like comes back to what we were saying. Ramsey did not have a good game. he was playing pretty quickly.
By the way, if you watch the face mask in full speed, you're like, okay, whatever. Only in slow-mo is there like this ultimate face mask pull. Like in real speed, it's not that bad of a face mask.
Speaking of slow-mo, did you see Matthew Stafford's no-look pass at the end of the game in slow-mo? Awesome. They were showing that. That was pretty cool.
Pretty intense. Pretty cool.
Incredible.
So the Rams are Super Bowl champions. Super Bowl 56. All-in moves justified. We'll have to talk about that throughout the offseason. It's interesting, right? Like, what are they looking like? What are the Rams looking like going into next season? What are the Bengals looking like? And all this stuff, guys. The football season.
Is Aaron Donald retired?
Right. I was gonna say.
Give a shout out to Aaron Donald. He played amazing. Yeah, he's not retired.
Great.
He's not.
And at the end of the game, came up with some big plays, guys. Football season is over. What do we do now?
I don't want to hear that. That's garbage.
I have no idea.
What do we do now? I will figure it out.
If you want to be on our show, if you want to be on our show, please hit us up. Do not hide. Tell us what you want to say. We want to have special guests on our show. People text me all the time. Well, I haven't been on your show yet because you don't have things to say. Stop asking me.
I agree with that. No, we'll have a lot of good topics in the offseason. Great stuff. We'll have some lists, top 10, this, top that. We'll have offseason needs for everyone.
Fantasy.
We'll break down everyone's win-loss totals, fantasy stuff, the list for fantasy, of course. We'll have some great stuff. Of course, when it gets closer to draft time, which it's not too far, we'll get to that too. The NFL offseason is the most exciting offseason in sports. It's not even close. So therefore, there will be plenty to talk about in the offseason. In fact, some people like the offseason better than the season. I'm just saying.
No.
Team building.
Cricket has an interesting offseason, if you must.
It was an interesting
NFL
offseason.
offseason is exciting.
Cricket's offseason is very interesting. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's riveting. That's riveting stuff.
Oh, and the USFL.
I was a Generals fan.
USFL.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have to figure some stuff out. No, I'm kidding.
I'm writing down my Super Bowl prediction for next year. Give me a second.
All right, no, save it.
Someone in the NFL not named Commanders. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely not Commanders.
All right, guys. So NFL season's over, but it doesn't mean the action's over. We got plenty of stuff for you. It's going to be just as entertaining as the season. In fact, there's a lingo in the podcast world. I forgot what it is, but it's those podcasts that aren't time sensitive. You can sort of listen to them at any time, right? Like we have a couple of those, the Matthew Stafford one, the Tom Brady one we've done throughout the last couple of weeks. So we're gonna have a lot of those. You can just like listen to it at any time, which are the best ones. Because what is it called?
I don't know. I just anytime pods. It sounds good to me.
Anytime pods. There's a lingo. There's a line for it. I forgot what it is. Maybe next time I'll have to get that for you. But thank you for joining us, everyone, for the Super Bowl 56 recap. NFL offseason's here. MLB, NBA, NFL offseason's here. The Olympics are here. Enjoy, everyone. Enjoy the offseason. Enjoy all the other sports that you're interested in. Whatever piques your interest, that is your preference. But remember to subscribe on Spotify. And March Madness is coming up. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up, but most importantly, the NFL offseason. So remember to subscribe on Spotify and Apple and watch our YouTube page. We're going to have some great new additions to the YouTube page. It's going to be awesome. The presentation is going to be just fantastic. Thanks to our very talented producer, Morty. He's been working tirelessly.
Thank you, Morty.
To improve improve the podcast as a whole. So thank you, Morty, and thank you, Meisty and Yehuda, for a great season, a great season. Some great discussions, and we'll continue to do so.
NFL history. Yeah.
NFL. We got a lot of NFL history stuff that we got to talk about. Yeah. Old games. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and have a great day.